What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for MLB opening day, Thursday, April 1st.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's MLB slate.
And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made.
Okay guys, MLB opening day. I'm going to give you some of the top ownership plays in this video. I did another video yesterday with some lower ownership picks that I like, so make sure to check that out. But let's get into it. At the pitcher position, I like Luis Castillo with a 14% pitching advantage over the St. Louis Cardinals. Luis Castillo, he pitches his best ball versus righty batters, and he's facing 7 righties here tonight. He's only giving up a .556 OPS versus righties. On top of that, the Cardinals have only hit 22 of his last 101 pitches, batting a .218 batting average. Luis Castillo is $8,900 FanDuel salary, and he's $300 more on DraftKings. Projected at 32.4 fantasy points here tonight, and he has an ERA of 3.21. His record was 4-6 last year, and he's pitching an average of 96 pitches per game. He averaged 38 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 34, 12, and 54 fantasy points in his last 3 games last season, and he's going to be about 16% owned. So I like Luis Castillo here versus the St. Louis Cardinals. Okay, let's take a look at the catcher position. I like Will Smith with a 20% batting advantage over German Marquez. Will Smith bats 18% better versus righty batters. He's batting a 1.028 OPS versus righties. And German Marquez, he's giving up a .661 OPS versus righties. Now, Will Smith is 0 for 2 versus Marquez, but it's a small sample size, and he's $3,500 FanDuel salary and $1,100 more on DraftKings. He's projected at 10.3 fantasy points here tonight. He's averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season last year, and he scored 22, 32, and 6 fantasy points in his last 3 games. He's going to be about 29% owned, so I like Will Smith here versus German Marquez.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Okay, who do we have at the first base position? I like Cody Bellinger with a 20% batting advantage over that same pitcher, German Marquez. Cody Bellinger bats 22% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a .854 OPS versus righties. And German Marquez is giving up a .648 OPS versus lefties. Now, Cody Bellinger is only 3 for 24 with a .125 batting average and a .535 OPS. So that's not a very good batter versus pitcher record there. He does have 2 home runs out of those 3 hits. So that does give me a little bit of caution on this play. But Cody Bellinger is $4,600 FanDuel salary and $1,200 more on DraftKings. He's projected at 11 fantasy points here tonight. He averaged 11 fantasy points per game on the season last year, scoring 22 and 19 fantasy points in his last 2 games. He's going to be about 23% owned, so I like Cody Bellinger here versus German Marquez. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. Okay, I'm going to give you a value play here. I like Kiki Hernandez batting against John Means. Kiki Hernandez is batting a .673 OPS versus lefties, and John Means is giving up a .725 OPS versus righties. He's 1 for 3, batting a .333 batting average and a .666 OPS versus Means. And he's only $2,700 FanDuel salary and only $300 more on DraftKings. So I like that price on both sites, and he's projected at 8.9 fantasy points here tonight. He averaged 7 fantasy points per game on the season last year, scored 0 and 22 fantasy points in his last 2 games last year. He's going to be about 21% owned, so he's going to be a popular value play here on this slate. So I like Kiki Hernandez here versus John Means. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. Now, it's looking like a lot of people are liking this Dodgers stack, so I like Justin Turner with a 21% batting advantage over German Marquez. Justin Turner bats 19% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a .898 OPS versus righties. And we know German Marquez is giving up a .661 OPS versus righties. Now, Justin Turner is only 2 for 16 with a .125 batting average and a .488 OPS versus Marquez. One of those 2 hits is for a home run. So again, just a word of caution because of that batter versus player history. But Justin Turner is only $3,500 FanDuel salary, and he's $1,200 more on DraftKings. And he averaged 11 fantasy points per game on the season last year, projected at 10.8 fantasy points here today, and he scored 19 and 3 fantasy points in his last 2 games last year. And he's going to be about 25% owned, so I like Justin Turner here versus German Marquez. Now, one thing to note about this game is that Vegas thinks there's going to be 11 runs scored in this game, so that's a high-scoring game. So that's why I think that a lot of people want to stack this game. Just be careful because there is not a lot of good batter versus team history with Justin Turner and Cody Bellinger versus German Marquez. But it's a new year, it's a new season, and I do like this stack. I just wouldn't go all in on these guys, but I do like Justin Turner here versus German Marquez.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. I like Trevor Story from the Colorado Rockies playing the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's got an 18% batting advantage over Clayton Kershaw. Trevor Story is batting 23% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a 1.043 OPS versus lefties. And Clayton Kershaw is giving up a .604 OPS versus righties. Trevor Story has hit 6 of 20 pitches, batting a .300 batting average with a .783 OPS versus Kershaw. He has 3 singles and 3 doubles, and he's 4,000 FanDuel salary and 1,500 more on DraftKings. He's projected at 12.1 fantasy points here today, and he scored an average of 13 fantasy points per game on the season last year, scoring 25 fantasy points in his last game, and he's going to be about 16% owned. So I like Trevor Story here versus Clayton Kershaw. So if you're going to stack the Dodgers, I would try to run it back with Trevor Story. I think that's a pretty solid strategy if you're going to go with the Dodgers Rocky stack. Okay, let's take a look at the outfield position. I like Tommy Pham with a 73% batting advantage over Madison Bumgarner. Tommy Pham is batting 49% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a .967 OPS versus lefties. And Madison Bumgarner pitches his worst ball to righty batters, 24% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .014 OPS versus righties. Now, Tommy Pham is 0 for 8 versus Madison Bumgarner, but those splits just look so good, and he's only 3,000 FanDuel salary and 100 more on DraftKings. He averaged 9 fantasy points per game on the season last year, and he scored 9, 9, and 6 fantasy points in his last 3 games. He's going to be about 30% owned. I think he makes a lot of sense as a value play, so I like Tommy Pham here versus Madison Bumgarner.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.